Hi, I'm Dr. Vonda Wright, and this is Hot for Your Health. In this episode of Hot for Your Health, we hear from one of Women's Health Conversation's most remarkable and beloved speakers, Voni Woods. Every year, we give an award to a woman who has transformed her health. And no one epitomizes what it means to go from the dark side of health into the brilliant light of health more than Voni Woods. You are going to love how she talks to you about approaching your health one mailbox at a time.
So our next award recognizes a woman who has seized the power that we talked about today to change her body, brains, and bliss. And so we created the Body Brains and Bliss Award. And this award is a nomination award. So this woman was nominated by one of her peers who has recognized the transformation in her own life.
And when you hear everything that she's accomplished besides getting it all together physically and mentally, you'll be astounded. The WHC 2014 Body, Brains, and Bliss Award goes to an accomplished woman who is not afraid of hard work at her job and in life. She had many positions of leading teams at Giant Eagle with focus on fresh foods. Cheese lover extraordinaire, graduate of the 2009 Duquesne WEL cohort, ongoing supporter and member of the Structure Mentorship Program at Giant Eagle with a focus on stewardship and, of course, advocacy for women. The 2013 chairman of the board, International Dairy Deli Bakery Association, a $30 million nonprofit international association. 2013 president and founder of the Giant Eagle WBRG, and that stands for Women's Business Resource Group, an 800 plus membership. 8-year Parish Council Advisory Board, St. Kilian Parish. Service ministry leader and Eucharistic minister, St. Kilian Parish. And was recently promoted to vice president in a male-dominated field. But this is not the most important. Yeah, give her a round of applause for that.
That's good work.
Great work, great work. It's not the most important part of her story. That's only the beginning, or the middle.
Yep.
Here's the end. The WHC, I hope you don't mind me using the initials.
Please.
The Women's Health Conversation 2014 Body, Brains, and Bliss Award goes to a woman who has transformed her body by getting her move on. By going from the couch, or rather office chair, to running. She lost 40 pounds of weight while building a better brain by clearing it and allowing happiness to fill it with something besides donuts. And now knows a bliss or perfect happiness as she is going to share with you in a moment.
So the 2014 Women's Health Conversations Body, Brain, and Bliss Award winner was nominated by Michelle Denk of Dietz & Watson and goes to Ms. Voni Woods, Vice President, Voni Woods of Giant Eagle, Vice President, mother, grandmother, lover of life, and transformer of her body, brains, and bliss. Voni Woods. So I'm giving Voni a globe also. This is a success globe because I think this just is who you are. Success becomes you. We're so proud of you. Dr. and Mrs. Antamarino are also giving you a spa day because you take care of everybody. And so you're getting that. And you are also coming to Chicago as my guest for our Chicago iteration of this conference. Thank you so much. Let us get a picture before we hear your story. Wow. Yeah.
You look like you've always had women like that.
Thank you. Well, let's hear your story. Okay.
Hello, everybody. After the first one, I thought, well, my bio's like this. I'd like to thank Michelle. Michelle nominated me, and it was so special and sweet and kind of, makes you humble. And it also inspires you to daily live up to the things that she said. And the things that you heard up here, and it makes you want to do more. So thank you for that energizing little boost to my 15 minutes of fame here. So I thought I would come up and tell you a little story and kind of tell you my story that may or may not resonate with you. And if it does, I hope it inspires you to do something. It was 2008. I was 40 pounds more than I was this morning. I was running the rat race, and the rats were winning. I didn't realize how exhausted I was and how blind I was to needing to change. So I'm a change agent, right? Change is always easy when somebody else has to do it. My change happened over time, but it happened at a single moment. And I think a lot of us have that single moment, and maybe you have had one in the past and maybe you haven't, but mine came with 3 things happening at the same time, none of them dramatic. Nobody died, but the 3 things I viewed as very negative. I was the first one into work all the time and the last one to leave. And I thought by working hard, someone one day would just tap me on the shoulder and say, it's your turn. And there was this job that I was inspired to get, and I was working towards. And I was passing by my boss's office, and he called me in, and he said, I'd like to introduce you to the new person that's going to take this role, and you're going to be reporting to them. And I was like, what? Never actually told them that I had wanted the job, but I wasn't even considered. Then the next day, I got a telephone call from HR, and it said, congratulations, you have been selected to attend the Women's Executive Leadership Program at Duquesne University, where you'll spend the next 9 months, 3 days a month for 9 months, with a women's group. And I was like, what? The women's group? And lastly, I went into my supervisor's office before I was transitioned over to a new boss, and I sat down in front of him and I said, why the women's group? I said, if you really know me, why was I selected to be in the women's group? And he said, I don't know you at all. I reported to him for 7 years. I was in his office on his couch for an hour, one-on-one, once a month for 7 years, and he said he didn't know me at all, that he knew what I did every day, but that I walked around with a wall around me, and I was angry. I was angry for all 3 of those things. And he said, well, I can get you out of this women's group if you'd like. And I said, no, you can always learn something, I'll go. So you could see that those 3 things weren't exactly horrible things, but they hit me very hard, and I wasn't in a physical and mental and spiritually good place. And nobody knew except me. So the wall I hit was a moment of truth, and it was painful. Like I said, the rats were winning and I was losing on this treadmill. And the physical weight that I carried also became a chip on my shoulder that also made it heavier. So I begrudgingly joined the WELL cohort as one person, and I graduated 9 months later as another. I went into the cohort, and part of the cohort was a 3-day, retreat. And I've never been on retreat before. I've never had to journal before. They gave me a journal, and when I look back on it and I see the first words that I wrote, boot camp for women. I wrote that at night, boot camp for women. If they make me speak to my womb tomorrow, I'm out of here. Part of the retreat was you had to write your story of where you are, where you were, how you got here, where you are, where you're going. I can do this, okay? I can do this for 3 days. I can write down where I was. I'm not lost. I know where I was. I wasn't looking for myself. I know who I am. And then where you're going. The last day, you had to read it in front of your class. You read it in front of each other. I had 12 of the most amazing women in my class. And it got to the last day to where we read our story. 11 women got up and read their story, came to me. I said, I'm not reading my story. And our instructor was Leanne Mayer. If you know Leanne, anyone knows her. And she said, you must. And I said, well, there's certain things I have to do in life, and this isn't one of them, and I'm not reading my story.
The federal health insurance marketplace is now open. That means you're free to shop for the health plan that's right for you. UPMC Health Plan has some of the most affordable plans on the marketplace. And they all give you full in-network access to UPMC, plus other doctors and hospitals in your community. Visit upmchealthplan.com or call 1-855-297-UPMC to learn why so many people have chosen UPMC Health Plan. Enroll today.
So one of the brilliant ladies next to me, she said, may I read your story? And I said, well, sure, if you want to. And she read my story for me. Let's fast forward 9 months. Meanwhile, you didn't want to be me. One of the classes, you had to bring in something you were proud of, something work-wise that you did at work that you were proud of. And we had, somebody brought in their patent, okay? Somebody brought in their law degree. We had a clinical pharmacist that brought in something that she probably invented. We had someone that was a nuclear engineer from Westinghouse. Always reasons to feel not good enough, right? I brought in my cheese tray. So, fast forward 9 months when we graduated, the class asked me to give the keynote at our graduation in front of the rest of the class, of course, all of our leaders and stewards. Some of them are here today from Giant Eagle. And I was asked to give one of the keynotes at the end, and I said, yes. So how did I go from I wouldn't read my story to I gave the keynote? What changed? My change started by inspiration of other women. And not only the amazing women I met on this journey through the Women's Executive Leadership Group, but my eyes were opened to the amazing women I worked with. Again, some of them are with me here today. And the women I volunteer with, and the amazing daughters I raised. So looking in and looking at myself, I was inspired to change. I had this new inspirational fire churning inside of me, and it simply led to take care of myself better, so that I may share myself, and so that I may share this journey with others, and so that I may take care of others. I was inspired, and I was full of energy, and I knew I had to do something to change. I talked to an old friend. He was a runner in high school. And he said to me, why don't you run? And I said, I can't run. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, what's wrong? And I said, well, nothing's wrong. It was another gift moment. And that's it was a kickstart that I needed. Nothing was wrong with me. I simply chose not to. I was able, and what a gift to be able. There's people that can't run because they can't run, and I was able. And what a waste not to take advantage of that. 2009 to 2010, it did not come overnight. But over the next several months, I set a goal to run 1 mile. It was a rather low goal when I look back, but a mountain of a goal at the time. I went outside and I ran. I ran every day. I started 1 mailbox at a time. If I could just make 1 mailbox, if I could make 1 mailbox and then walk, and then maybe I could make 2 mailboxes. And maybe I could run to the corner before I had to walk. My mind was in the moment, my body was getting stronger, weight was coming off, and I was feeling the power of energy and confidence that comes with feeling fabulous. The first time the blissful runner's high was felt was on a summer evening. It was about 8:30 at night, and I was running home. Home is downhill. Starting out is uphill. Home is downhill. And it was hot. It was muggy. And it hit me right then. I was sweating, I was running, I was all by myself, I was sweating. It was hard work. I started laughing. I was running down the hill towards home and I was laughing. And I was filled with joy of being fit and having energy and accomplishing something. Big deal, you might say you ran. So what happened to your mind and your spirit, and how did that help you transform yourself? My fitness and my body, from 2010 to 2014, I ran 15 races, the last of which I ran the 10K at the Great Race in October. And you will see me at the Turkey Trot right before Thanksgiving dinner, downtown at Hinesfield, running the Turkey Trot. I lost 40 pounds. I have sustained a healthy weight of 125 to 130 pounds for the last 4 years. On vacation last month, two vacations I've had recently. One, I hiked up the Experienced Hiker at Camelback Mountain. I had to go to the Experienced one. I was by myself because I left all my friends about a mile lower down the hill. And I went to the top, so that was fun. And I just got back from Las Vegas with my husband and my daughter. And in 4 days, I ran 32 miles, and I climbed 4,000 stairs. Every morning at dawn, my daughter and I went out, and we went on the strip, and we ran the strip before breakfast. And what an energizing way to start the day with my daughter, and we were so proud of ourselves. The last 4 years, I've passed 5 of my 5 biometric screenings. I scored a 96 out of 100, which was like fabulous for me. Professionally, being healthy and fit bodies cleared my mind. It's a fact. It cleared my mind and helped me see things clearer. When I let go of the chip on my shoulder, the weight came with it. My confidence was building and taking off. My energy boldly took me so many places, both inside the company and in the community, in the industry, and also at home. So personally, clearing your mind leaves it open for happiness. Energy helps you have fun and do more stuff. Stuff around the house, energy to go and do and live to the fullest. I have a 2-year-old grandson, and I have a 7-week-old grandson, and I adore them. And I want to have all the energy, all the time, not just to visit them, but to take care of them. And the desire to do that for a very long time, to eat right, to walk, to run, to breathe, inspires me. So spirit, so if you indulge me, I use the word spirit as spirituality. And how did I come to blissful living? And how did my transformational change affect the spirit? I'm a little sorry to say it was hindsight and not foresight that helped me with the realization that my God has a plan for me, and it's on His time and not my time. It was always mine for the taking, but certainly His plan is purposeful and right. The opportunities that came my way were purposeful. We meet for a reason. I'm meeting you all today for a reason. I truly believe that, and it leads me to volunteerism and wanting to do that and to be fit. And it's a joy, not a burden. Being fit is a joy, and it's a spiritual joy as well. So lastly, on this journey, I'm so not perfect. There's indeed an insanity in the chase of perfection that I try to avoid, sometimes unsuccessfully. I didn't wake up and change. I didn't just decide to run and then run a marathon. It all started with something little. I can run 1 mailbox. I can take the stairs. I can make good, delicious, healthy food choices. I can change. The Wikipedia definition of bliss is perfect happiness. I have known it, I have felt it, and I continue to try to be my best and keep it and share the joy. Just last weekend, I spent the day with my grandsons. I sang 2-year-old Jakey to sleep in the rocking chair in his room. I spent the next 2 hours with Tyler, his little brother, feeding him, taking care of him, and then, of course, not putting him down, letting him sleep on my shoulder for 2 hours, all quiet downstairs by myself. The husband that I have that adores me at home, when oftentimes I am not adorable, and 2 beautiful daughters. It was a day of bliss. So when I'm feeling not so blissful, I have my go-to and my inspirational message on my wall in my office that anyone here from our two tables have seen. It says, courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow. One mailbox. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for joining me this week for this episode of Hot for Your Health. You know, you are a powerful force in your own health, and I'm excited that you took the time this Thursday to learn more from our nation's authorities in health. I hope that you subscribe so that you don't miss one single episode. Join us next week for Hot for Your Health, and for more information, find it at womenshealthconversations.com.